can do it.
Sonic one! Oh, it's again.
Sonic game!
I want to have it back.
Sonic game, can you do Game Boy?
I don't know how to play this. Are you Sonic?
You know, they say that the past is just a memory, but when that memory is a blue hedgehog, it tends to have a way of keeping up with you. The day I first encountered the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise was my birthday in, I think 2006, when I got my very first console, a Nintendo DS, and for it, my very first game, Sonic Rush. It kickstarted a passion for a certain blue rodent that has stuck with me my entire life, and now here we are, at the franchise's 35th anniversary. Sonic's been through highs and lows, ups and downs, through the manias and forces of the world, and yet he's still here, he's still kicking. Sonic means a lot to me, and growing up, there was one Sonic game that stood above the rest. A game originally released in 2011. An anniversary and a celebration, but also a blueprint for the future, for better or for worse. If you've been around here for a while, you'll know what I'm talking about. But for those of you that are new here, that game's name is Sonic Generations. It was everything to me at a time where I was still trying to figure out who I was and what drove me. Sonic was 20, which to a 10-year-old kid is ancient, and to see him celebrating his history so proudly was nothing short of inspiring. On top of that, there was an elusive collector's edition that 10-year-old me could not get enough of. There was a gold ring, there was an art book, and there was this really, really awesome statue of classic and modern Sonic. It was hard enough for a kid to find in Australia, let alone afford, so I never got it. And then as an adult, I learned about irresponsible financial decisions. And in 2024, Sonic Generations was re-released alongside a brand new game that acted as a kind of part 2 Shadow Generations. That game also had an elusive collector's edition, not the limited run one. That one's not even out yet, technically, with it restarting production and all. But the one that was released was only available in Japan, and so I never got one. What? I didn't. It was Japan exclusive. It's not like it's just gonna drop out of the sky. But this video isn't about Sonic Generations or Shadow Generations. Well, not strictly, at least. Today I wanted to talk about the franchise as a whole and what it's meant to me over the years. I know, I've done this whole song and dance before, but it's been over a year and it's a special occasion. Let a guy live. Sonic the Hedgehog is 35. That's young. I mean, hell, I'm only 25. But also, that's a lot of time for a video game franchise in such a rapidly evolving industry. This series has changed so much, from Green Hill in Sonic 1, to Green Hill in Sonic Generations, to Green Hill in Sonic Forces, to Green Hill in Sonic Superstars. I see. It's important to consider the impact that nostalgia can have on us. Sometimes it's seen as a marketing tool. The story usually goes that a company will try and remind you of the way that you used to feel in order to sell you something that sells itself on that remembrance. And I, for one, am proud to say that I have never fallen for that. No, don't look at that. It's not important. It's not relevant. Nostalgia is a powerful thing, and don't we know that? In moderation, though, I think nostalgia can be a valuable tool and even a vehicle for growth. Call me old-fashioned, but I think looking back from time to time is a wonderful way to measure how far we've come. With Sonic, my first game was Rush, yeah, but I think I've gone and played every mainline title in the series and a good chunk of the spin-offs. Almost all of them, actually, at least once, except for a few of the Game Gear ones, and those weird arcade-only ones, and I'm sure there's some other obscure ones I'm forgetting. But anyway, my point is, every one of these games connects me to a certain point in my life. Sonic Rush, the day I discovered the series. Sonic Generations, the moment the series became what it means to me today. Sonic Lost World, the game I got a Wii U for, and all of the memories associated with being the one Wii U owner in a high school class full of PS4 kids. Sonic Forces, the first time I learned what this word meant. When I was a kid, I looked up to Sonic a lot. I mean, how could you not? He embodies the idea of a free spirit, carefree, always striving to do the right thing, and maintaining optimistic in the face of certain defeat. That is some powerful stuff for a young, impressionable kid to latch onto. He was free like the wind, and as I grew up, I kept that interpretation of Sonic close to me. I think now it's like an electricity thing. He's free like electricity. I don't know. Being a fan of the series felt like being part of something that was bigger than myself. The original Sonic Generations was this huge, massive event. I remember feeling the weight of it all as you ran through this medley of history, spanning classics like Green Hill and Chemical Plant, which hadn't become overused aesthetics at that point, through the transition to 3D, even through franchise blunders and low points of the series, like speeding through Crisis City and remembering all that 06 was, through to the most recent game at the time, Sonic Colors. It was amazing. It was a great way to showcase the evolution of the series, blending old school 2D classic Sonic ideas with high octane 3D modern gameplay. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and I'll die on that hill. Over the years, as I got older, especially through high school, I started to push down my love for the series. In the public eye, blunders like 06 and the reputation of some parts of the fanbase really dulled the perception of the whole franchise. Add on things like Lost World, add on things like Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric and Forces, and it got to a point where even Sega was laughing at themselves in a weird, self-deprecating manner. At the time of all of this, I was going through high school, and well, I'm sure you don't need me to tell you how brutal teenagers can be to their classmates. Oh man, it got so bad. I used to pretend not to like Sonic at times, or to like it ironically, just so I could maintain some kind of street cred in the classrooms. Who the hell is this guy? But also, strangely, the Sonic franchise was laughing at itself almost as much as it was going, hey guys, remember when we were good? Constant throwbacks to the quote-unquote good old days when Sonic did what Nintendo didn't, and the only things that mattered were Green Hill Zone and a minimal story, and the times where there were none of those pesky friends that haters claimed had diluted the franchise for over a decade. The series had some real toxic inward nostalgia at the time, just constantly screaming at you about days gone by like, I don't know, some kind of drunk uncle, so you wouldn't have a spare second to think about the fact that the things being put out at the time were really mid. This game kind of sucks. Hey, remember Green Hill Zone? I actually remember watching the reveal trailer for Sonic Forces. It had this really wicked premise about how the world needs heroes and that even heroes need help. I was genuinely on the edge of my seat, ready for them to show off Tails or Knuckles or Shadow or hell, anyone, confirming that for the first time since 2006, we'd have another character that wasn't Sonic playable in a mainline game, and then, you know how that went. Hey, remember classic Sonic? But then, a few years later, something strange happened. Around the time I was finishing up high school, I had all but pushed down my love for this series and instead looked at it as a guilty pleasure. I couldn't let people know that I liked Sonic as much as I did. They think I was cringe. The cherry on top, I remember, came a few months after I graduated when this teaser poster was revealed to the world for a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. That was rough. Like any world-shattering event, we all remember where we were on the day we saw this thing, and if not this thing, then certainly the first teaser trailer. I was just speechless, man, and not in a good way. I feel like I don't need to tell you about the reception to this. It sucked. There's no way around it. The amount of pushback from people for this design was staggering, but I remember feeling a certain way about it. Pissed off for one, but also, through the waves of negativity, I noticed that there was a common thread emerging. The people that were clowning on this trailer were doing so from a point of care. This mass pushback was from a community that loved Sonic and wanted to see the franchise dig itself out of the pit that it had dug for itself. This big budget Hollywood blockbuster had the potential to single-handedly bring the franchise back or tank it beyond repair, and so people fought for it. And fight they did, because after the movie was delayed and a second trailer released with a completely redesigned Sonic, public opinion almost did a complete 180. It was so bizarre. The first Sonic the Hedgehog movie was monumental in shifting the court of public opinion around, and the second one only further cemented that. It introduced the franchise to so many new audiences, and slowly but surely things started to really improve. The next thing was the games. Sonic Frontiers was the next big mainline 3D Sonic game after the release of the first and second movie, and it was good? Like, yeah, there was still nostalgia bait in it, but it started to take itself more seriously, and it was trying to take the series in a big new direction, so the green hills and chemical plants and whatnot served more as an anchor to the franchise than a mask for subpar quality. It wasn't perfect, and obviously had its issues, but things were looking up. And then we got Sonic Superstars the year after, which, look, also has issues, but it was another thing where they took nostalgia and kind of weaponized it, giving us a brand new entry in the classic Sonic series with a brand new location, brand new characters, and so on. It was around this time that I started to feel like liking Sonic was okay. Through the help of people close to me, I stopped keeping my interests and my passions hidden. It wasn't quite what you see today, but we all have to start somewhere, right? And then came 2024. Coined by Sega as the fearless year of Shadow, the franchise felt like it was finally back to firing on all cylinders with the third Sonic movie and a brand new game. Kinda, well, maybe. Would you consider it a full game? I don't know. I'd consider it a full collector's edition, if I had one. Coincidentally, at the time Sonic X Shadow Generations was coming out, I was really starting to put myself out there. I started uploading on this channel a few weeks prior to its launch, and I was umming and ahhing on what to do, what to talk about, how much of myself I show to the world. One of the scariest things at that time was revealing parts of what made me, if that makes sense. I mentioned a while back that each game connects me to a part of myself. Sonic X Shadow Generation specifically takes me back to a time where I had just begun to share parts of myself with the world, and man, I'm glad I did. Oh, look at that. Yeah, okay, you knew this was coming. A few months back, I visited a toy fair, and it was a really cool experience where, almost as if by fate, I came across this collector's edition. The thing was sealed, it had never been used. It was a no-brainer to pick that thing up, so I did. I won't lie, gang, this is where it gets a little sappy. Around the time that Sonic X Shadow Generations came out, I spoke about Sonic for the first time on here, and what the series and generation specifically means to me. I really admired how it celebrated the past and looked to the future with hope, and the thing I want to highlight here is the connections that have formed as a result of me sharing my passion for this silly blue rodent with the world. I've spoken about Sonic time and again on here, and I'll do it again. And that's a threat. I have met some of my closest friends through the things I've done on this channel. I've been so fortunate to hear so many people's stories about their thoughts on the franchise or a specific game in it and what it means to them. And all of this has only further propelled my love for the series, for its characters, and for the experiences that it brings. I love Sonic, and that's not going away anytime soon. I don't know if I've ever spoken about how much Sonic X Shadow Generations means to me. For one, it's a really solid remaster of the original game, minus the rewrites, but it's a solid romp through time. Without the time stones? I can kind of ignore the rewrites, to be honest. I don't know, I just don't care about them as much as maybe I thought I would. But it does make for some funny moments though, like this.
Where is the rest of my island?
But largely, the moment-to-moment gameplay has been left alone, which was the draw for me. And also, I didn't have to deal with that stupid configuration tool on PC. And adding on Shadow Generations, the whole package is genuinely awesome. Together, Sonic Generations and Shadow Generations tell a meta-narrative of a franchise that was proud of its history, that lost its way, only to find it again. And man, I can really relate to that. I think it was genuinely an awesome celebration of how far the series has come, and I couldn't help but reflect on my own journey as I played it. Just like this game, I was once proud of the things that brought me joy, and then I pushed it down and stifled it until there came a time where I felt it would be better to celebrate what makes me who I am. And with the franchise hitting its 35th anniversary, I can't help but admire just how far it's come and how far we've all come. It's kind of funny. People used to pretend not to like Sonic, but it's now gotten to a point where people pretend to be die-hard fans of the franchise. Like, I'm not gonna gatekeep this series, obviously, but it's kind of funny in an endearing way to see someone claim to be a huge Sonic nerd and then trip up on certain things. Like, the franchise is so big now that people want to LARP it to look cool. Oh, dude, I love this guy! Who the hell is this? I also just wanted to take a moment to thank everybody that has stuck with me since I started talking about this funky blue hedgehog and his various escapades. For such a long time, I felt so isolated, so alone, and so silly for finding joy in this character, and thanks to all of you, not only do I feel confident sharing what I love, which extends to beyond Sonic, but I'm also damn proud of it! For all of you who have watched my videos, whether you've been here from day one or joined us along the way, even if this is the first time you found yourself here, thank you for everything you've done, for liking, for commenting, for subscribing, and for just being here. I don't take it for granted. Your support helped me become who I am today. It helped me to realize that Sonic will always be a part of my life, and I wouldn't have that any other way. Every step on his journey has a corresponding step in my own and your own, and I wanted to take a moment to celebrate it. Celebrate us all, because damn it, I'm proud of me, I'm proud of you, I'm proud of us. Just like Sonic Generations, Shadow Generations, and the franchise as a whole, we should celebrate our past and look to the future with hope.